What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Dylan Matthews back at it again with another hometown take. Today I'm talking about the Atlanta Falcons. I told you the Falcons videos were going to start to roll out from this page. Got to get the algorithm right before the season starts. Haven't been doing as many as I wanted to do, but you know, things happen. But we're doing one today, and we are giving you the final 53-man roster predictions in this video. I'm going to get into who can make it, who's going to make it, who could make it, and what last few battles that this final preseason game against the Cleveland Browns could sort out. So let's go ahead and get right into it. But before I do that, actually, make sure you like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel. Check out the first link in my description box to buy me a coffee to help fuel this channel, help fuel the Atlanta Hawks to a whole lot of regular season wins, maybe even a playoff appearance. And also check out the second link in my description box to subscribe to the Tough Cause podcast with me and girl SymoneWithTheSports, as she likes to say, or talking to your favorite former and current athletes, hosts, anchors, reporters, head coaches, all that good stuff. So don't miss out on any of that good content. Listen to the pod, download the pod, share the pod out, subscribe to it. Like I said, share it out to your friends so they can listen to it, download it, subscribe to it, like it, share it out to their friends who also listen to it, download it, subscribe to it, share it, and send it out to their friends you don't even know about. So let's get right into the video today. The Atlanta Falcons went ahead and made some cuts today. Biggest of that being Javion Hawkins, the running back out of Louisville, who everybody was very high on. Everybody else was there, not really notable. And they only made 5 cuts, like I said. He was the biggest one. So, only one cut remaining, and that's the big 27-man cut to go from 80 down to 53, which they will do so a week from today, a little bit earlier in the day they'll probably do it. But you get what I'm saying. As we all know, A.J. McCarron unfortunately tore his ACL, and that's going to end his season and also end his tenure with the Atlanta Falcons, most likely. We did bring in Josh Rosen, who was former high pick for the Arizona Cardinals, and then he went to the Dolphins, and now he's an Atlanta Falcon. So he's probably going to be the backup, but that's actually one of the first battles we could get into is he going to be the backup, or is Felipe Franks going to win the job? Now, with them bringing in Josh Rosen, I don't feel very comfortable still saying Felipe Franks could be the backup quarterback. He's a good practice squad quarterback, somebody to keep around, see how he develops, because he does have some speed. He has a little bit of arm strength, that is. I don't know if you could say arm talent, but he has arm strength. Obviously still has a lot of work to do, still throws very inaccurate passes and all that good stuff, but he has had some success in this preseason extending plays with his legs. Obviously had that long, 57-yard run or whatever. So Felipe could be the backup, but if I had to go with my gut of guts, my heart of heart, I'm gonna say Josh Rosen probably wins it out. But the good thing right now for Felipe is that he's way more familiar with the system with 2 preseason games under his belt than Josh Rosen, who just got signed today or yesterday or whenever it was. I believe it was today. But anywho, it was today actually, because they made the cuts and announced at the same time that Josh Rosen was signed. So he just he barely got 3 hours out here. He's only my 3rd hour out here. I don't know. Anyways, so big decision there between Josh Rosen and Felipe Franks and who will be the backup quarterback. None of which is a good situation really, because Josh Rosen hasn't been on the team that long. I think he probably has more talent than Felipe Franks, but how long will it be for him to learn this Arthur Smith offense? So there you go, a little bit of a backup quarterback battle, if you want to call it that. Either way it goes, hopefully Matt Ryan doesn't get hurt, because if he does, we got bigger problems anyway. All right, so besides quarterback, because I started talking about the quarterback and I had to give you the A.J. McCarron news, let's actually start on the defensive side of the football. So on here on AtlantaFalcons.com, we got our guy Scott Belair, Falcons digital managing editor, putting out his 53-man roster. He goes in on both the defense and the offense. We're going to start with the defense. Like I said, defensive linemen, Falcons are projected to keep 6. Those that will be Grady Jarrett, Marvin Davidson, Tyler Davison, Jonathan Bullard, big surprise name there, John Kaminsky, and Taquan Graham. Only big surprise there, like I said, is Jonathan Bullard wasn't projected for sure to make the team when he first got on the scene and first started this. So he has been good throughout camp, made some plays throughout camp. So Jonathan Bullard will probably end up making this football team. And hopefully Marlon Davidson is good and can stay healthy and he can make an impact this year. He was a second round pick last year, and hopefully had a lot of hope and potential coming out of Auburn, but haven't been able to see it yet. Rookie season, dealt with injuries and COVID, so hopefully he can make a big splash this year. And if he can, and if he can, give us some versatility between playing defensive tackle and defensive end, that will help a lot with this DMP's defense, who likes to blitz. And we need somebody good beside Grady Jarrett, for crying out loud. Grady been doing all by himself since he got here. So hopefully hopefully Marlon Davidson can make things happen besides Grady Jarrett and make this defensive line even better and bring a little depth to this defensive line. So Jonathan Bullard, John Kaminsky, Taquan Graham alongside Marlon Davidson, Grady Jarrett, and Tyler Davison as the defensive linemen. Edge rushers, we got Jacob Tuioti Mariner, Dante Fowler, and our guy Ade Ogundeje, or if you want his whole name, Ade Tokumbo Ogundeje, and Stephen Means. Not much drama here. Ogundeje, what round did we draft? We drafted in the 6th round, 7th round. He's out of Notre Dame. He has been impressive since he got to camp and in the preseason games. He's been establishing himself, and he's been a fan favorite during camp. And he probably will be in a good edge rushing rotation with Brandon Copeland. I mean, not with Brandon Copeland, but with these other guys, Stephen Means, Dante Fowler, Tuioti Mariner, and Copeland, who was listed in the linebacker group, who we'll get into next. He can be a good edge rusher as well. So have a little depth at edge rusher and hopefully get some sacks. That's something we haven't been able to do since we had, Jonathan Abraham. So something we're gonna have to do. But Stephen Means, Dean Pease, I'm feeling good about the defense he's putting together and what he's been able to do with this defense. We saw in the first preseason game when we had, the better guys out there, we were able to create more of a pass rush and put pressure on these guys. I know the Dolphins offensive line isn't good, but in the joint practices, everybody was raving about the Falcons defensive line getting after and eating the lunch of the Miami Dolphins offensive line. So I think DMP is going to have us right, especially when we got Grady Jarrett, Marlon Davidson, Dante Fowler Jr., and all those other guys in there as well, especially Deion Jones, Foye Oluokun. He's going to set one thing we know DMP likes to do. He likes to blitz, and I love it, and I'm here for it. When we blitzed last year and actually started blitzing and sending pressure, we actually got home and got to the quarterback. Dean Pease loves blitzing, and he's going to blitz from everywhere. He said it himself. So I'm ready to see this Dean Pease defense in full effect with the starters, and I think we can at least be a middle-of-the-road defense. Linebackers, Foye Oluokun, Deion Jones, Micah Walker, Brandon Copeland, who I was just talking about, and Errol Thompson. Now, this is where we get into a little bit of a competition because Dorian Etheridge has been balling out in the preseason as well, but Thompson has done pretty well too. First preseason game, Etheridge was the star for the Falcons. Even though in a 23-3 loss, he looked very good on the defensive side, recording 13 total tackles. He had 7 solo tackles, 3 tackles for loss as well. Errol Thompson had 4 total tackles, only 1 solo. He did have a quarterback hit though. But Dorian Etheridge was the star of that first preseason game. We move over to the second preseason game against the Dolphins. He was solid in that one as well, recording 8 total tackles, 3 solo tackles as well. We're going to see. Ellerby has also been pretty good. He had 8 total tackles, 4 solo tackles in that preseason game against the Dolphins. So the linebacker group has been pretty good, and it's going to be pretty solid. And I think this linebacker group is actually going to be pretty deep. Michael Walker is going to find his way onto the field. He's been really good. Jalen Hawkins is going to be like that safety linebacker, Swiss Army knife type of dude. Like we said, Brandon Copeland is also a good linebacker, but he can rush the passer as well. This is what our guy Scott Blair had to say about the linebacker group and the linebacker decision. He says, quote, "A tough choice comes at the bottom of this depth chart. The first 3 are locks. Copeland does a ton on the inside, outside, and special teams. Both Dorian Etheridge and Earl Thompson has, I think he meant to say has had solid preseasons. While proving worthy of a roster spot, Emmanuel Ellerbe has been good too, but the position groups impacted. Etheridge might be a flashier choice after playing so well versus Tennessee, but Thompson is the selection here as a powerful player at 254 pounds, far bigger than everyone in the group, save Copeland, who can be impactful going downhill. He also started alongside Mykal Walker on Saturday in Miami, possibly a sign he might have a slight edge in the position battle. It also must be said that Etheridge is deserving after 2 preseason games. This one could go down to the wire, and I reserve the right to change my mind, end quote. So yeah, the linebacker group is going to be it's going to be the group that we don't know the most about, and the position battle could go anyway. We don't know where it's going to go. Etheridge could get in there and steal a spot. Emmanuel Ellerbe could get in there and steal a spot. We don't know. But that's good when you have good competition towards the bottom. That means we should have pretty good depth at linebacker, which I'm thinking we already do. Like I said, we got Debo, we got Foye, we got Mykal Walker. Copeland's Swiss Army knife, he can do a little bit of everything. Earl Thompson, he's been good, but Etheridge and Ellerbe are right there too. So linebacker position, I think is going to be good either way it goes. No matter who you pick, we'll just see who the Falcons go with. But make sure you watch out for the linebackers, because that is a group that will be decided. The end of that group will be decided in this last preseason game against the Cleveland Browns. Moving on to safeties: Eric Harris, Deron Harmon, Richie Grant, Jalen Hawkins. That's pretty easy. I mean, TJ Green, he's a guy that's not easy to cut, but you aren't leaving any of these guys. You aren't taking any of these guys off. Jalen Hawkins is a second-year dude, and he seemed to be pretty well in the snaps he got last year. Richie Grant, he's just a rookie. They're not going to do anything to him. And they just acquired Eric Harris and Deron Harmon. Those are your starters at safety probably. So it's going to be hard to cut TJ Green, but you got to do what you got to do. Corners: AJ Terrell, Fabian Moreau, and Isaiah Oliver, Chris Williamson, Darren Hall, and Avery Williams. You know, this one is another one because it's tough because Kendall Sheffield hasn't been able to play. He should be, we think he's pretty good. I mean, at least he's okay, but he hasn't been able to play. So the injury and the injury timing is just rough for him because the new regime hasn't been able to see him or evaluate him. So ultimately, he's getting a spot took. Not because he did something wrong, but he couldn't do anything at all because he's injured. So tough for Avery Williams, but with the draft picks of Darren Hall and Avery Williams being able to play special teams, they like him. So tough for Kendall Sheffield, but that's probably your group there just because Kendall Sheffield can't do nothing. Quickly, we're gonna finish this out here with the special teams. Obviously, Youngwood Koo's gonna be our kicker. Punter battle though between Dom Maggio and Cameron Niesliak. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. So we're gonna see how that holds up. So punter battle, we love to see those. Moving on to the offense, obviously Matt Ryan is QB1. We talked about the possible second backup quarterback position between Josh Rosen and Felipe Franks. Again, quickly, I think Josh Rosen probably is going to get it because they brought him in to do that. So obviously they see something in him, and Felipe, he's just too raw. They'll leave him on for a practice squad spot though. Running backs: Mike Davis, Cordell Patterson, Quadri Allison, Caleb Huntley, Keith Smith. I think it'll stay that. Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage, Olamide Zaccheaus, Tajay Sharp, and Christian Blake as receivers. That's cool. Chris Rowland's probably not going to make the cut, even though he's a good special teams dude. But we got Cordell Patterson. They like Avery Williams on special teams as well. So I think it's just too crowded of a room for Chris Rowland, unfortunately. Tight ends: Kyle Pitts, Hayden Hurst, Lee Smith, John Rain, obviously. Offensive line: Jake Matthews, Josh Andrews, Matt Hennessy, Chris Lindrum, Kalen Gary, Jalen Mayfield, Drew Dahlman, Willie Beavers, and Jason Spriggs. All of our offensive linemen were pretty much bad. The second and third string ones were bad. Willie Beavers and Jason Spriggs are the only good ones, really. Josh Andrews is suspect too. So we'll see what happens there. But the rest of the offense seems pretty final. Only real questions are coming from the defense. But that's all the time I got. I'm running out of time quick here. So make sure you like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to the channel. Tell me about the position battles you're looking out for. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe on this video. Check out the first link in my description box to buy me coffee to help fuel this channel. Check out the second link to subscribe to the Tough Calls podcast. And until I talk to you guys next time, peace.